We're continuing with the losers bracket, and we got the Swedes against the French. Tomb of the Spider Queen is our first map. And now you have 3 guesses who picked it. It's the Frenchies, of course. They love Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is fairly amusing because they played it, I believe, twice now, and they lost both of them. But yeah, so Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's see what the Swedish team can do today. They have Cure subbing in for them. Okay, Svamgrotta, if I see this correctly, is not here today, so Cure is subbing, which is always awesome. Big shout out to Cure, by the way. He's not playing for any of the teams here, and in one of the Meta Madness matches that they played, they had initially a team, and then they just realized it's too much with 3 players from North America. But we have always a few of them, I mean mostly Cure honestly, playing cross-server and dealing with that. When anybody needs a player, Cure is usually there, so big shout out to him. There's not a whole lot of NA players that are willing to play cross-server in a situation like that. And he is definitely, I mean, he should definitely get some recognition for that. So yeah, Cure's awesome. Love the guy. Holger and Mephisto banned out first as we're going into our series here. It's actually really cool when you're looking at the player list right now, honestly. It's like a who's who. So many people that have been playing professionally in the past in here, or that at least have been playing at some of the offline events that we hosted ever since Blizzard killed HGC, stabbed it in the back, destroyed it, crushed it, vaporized it, betrayed it. Where are we? Oh yeah, heroes. Okay, so Probius gets banned. I told you this is only going to be a matter of time until Ixia is getting target banned with Probius. He doesn't bust out the probe on the last time that he played on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but I think this was just something that's going to happen either way. It had to. It just simply had to. So, yeah, we're gonna get the probe banned out. Still, Zarya as a potential? They love to play her on other maps, but maybe here? Could, I don't know. And there she is. Zarya Garrosh, instantly. Ixia, never change. I love it when you have certain players that have just these heroes that are super known for. And in Ixia's case, it's even more interesting because he's normally playing the support for the team. But if he gets Probius or if he gets Zarya, they're just deviating away from the normal roles and make that happen for him. So I find that awesome. This is brilliant. Right now, we're looking at Anduin for the blue team. We have Blaze, so Light Bomb engage with Diablo, already possible. Even if they don't add anything else, they could obviously still drop a Genji in or whatnot and make this even more powerful. But even with Diablo, you can execute it at times. Junkrat gets banned, fantastic for interrupting any turn-in attempt. We could still see Hanzo picked or banned, so that's another one. And yeah. It's also game number 1. I haven't really talked about it at the beginning of the series, but there's 2 things that we really have to touch on fairly quickly. Heroes can only be played once in the series. As I said, no pre-bans for the qualifiers, for the playoffs. In this entire tournament, you're not going to see pre-bans, but we don't want to see the same heroes over and over, so they can't be played again in the same series after being played once. Also, there's $2,500 of prize money on the line for the playoffs, which is where the players are now trying to get by participating in these qualifiers and gathering points with each round that they succeed in. And all sponsored by Kevin, by Psychiv. He's the owner of the Miami LAN Center, where we had the Heroes International. He's also the one that sponsored the Nations Cup in Berlin. So keeping Heroes of the Storm alive, one tournament at a time. Malfurion and Malthael are our choices for the red team, which means that we now have Zarya speeding up Garrosh, Garrosh running into the team, flipping a target over, Malfurion laying down the lawn, and then Malthael plus everybody else just like pouncing on the target, and Malthael going last right. So that's essentially what's happening. In theory. Probably not going to work out that way, but hey. Double pick for the blue team. Final ones for game number 1, the Swedes with Max Passion on Gul'dan and Kerrigan from Gia. Oh yeah, it is Kerrigan time, and he is a monster on that hero. I like it. Nagrom, final choice, has been playing a lot of damage. It's really fun to see him just in different roles, not always on the tank or on the support as he's been seen in the past, of course. But yep, more damage for him now too. Tomb of the Spider Queen, our first map in the best of 3 series in the second qualifier of the Banshee Cup. And as we're heading into Tomb, the final choice is Khaldor. Okay, did not see that coming. All here for it though. Game number 1, let's go. Prepare yourself for battle. Gia on Kerrigan, so yeah, they really gotta prepare yourself. Q on Blaze, we got Maka on Anduin, Skok on Diablo, and Max Passion is playing Gul'dan. On the right side of the map, Virtual on Malthael, we got Ixia on Zarya, Jean Lassalle on Malfurion, Malganir is playing Garrosh, and Nagrom is playing Kel'Thuzad. So yeah, apparently Jean Lassalle is the name of a French politician. I mean, honestly, if you would have told me that it is a lube brand, I would have believed that as well. I mean, just saying that. Like, say it in your head and then say it out loud in front of your PC. And tell me that that doesn't sound like a potential brand name for some lube. Jean Lassalle. I mean, this is already flitching right there. So, it is what it is. But anyways, Mr. Lube Boy is going to try and heal everybody up. They have to keep Nagrom alive in particular because he is a little bit low in HP, just generally speaking. Even when he's at full HP, he's low in HP. That's basically what's going on with him. He can be fantastic when he sieges up on certain structures, and we had multiple players really try and make him work, but that lack of a proper hit point pool and survivability is a huge downside, and we'll see what exactly they can do with him if Nagrom is able to survive with Kel'Thuzad, and if, for example, Malganir is able to save him whenever he's in trouble, as he just did. So they're trying to go for cure here. And Nagrom is already getting some damage together and getting points for his baseline, where you want to have the added spell power. Ixia, though, gets sucked back in by Kerrigan, so both teams really looking from the get-go for some big aggression. The funny thing to me, by the way, is that I know that, that a lot of people are just like sitting in front of their PC and just like talking, trying to talk and pronounce that in French. And it's like, he has a point, he has a point. So, yeah. Kyo found it amusing too. He's actually like sitting there right now trying to pronounce it. He has a bit of a delay on stream so that players can't cheat. So he just heard about me saying it. So now he's paused the game so he can try it himself before the game continues. And I can absolutely understand it. I mean, I would do that too, just out of curiosity. So don't know why. Well, apparently we got a drop. So Blaze dropped out. Wait, what? Cure paused the game and then Cure dropped? I mean, that is manners. Normally when people drop, you know, they don't announce it or anything. It just happens and then they're gone and the team is just absolutely screwed. In Cure's case, it's a little bit different. Cure is letting people know that he is going to drop and then he pauses the game. That is just considerate. That's a level of consideration that you normally don't get from an American. So Cure, round of applause. That's pretty amazing. I like it. Good stuff, good stuff. So, yeah. The man can see the future. I don't know what to tell you here. I'm going to drop in 3 seconds. I better pause the game and let everybody know. But we're still waiting for First Blood. We also have Death's Reach in. We're also looking at the Barbed Chains. As I mentioned, Kel'Thuzad is already working quite nicely on the Master of the Cold Dark, so he wants to have that extra spell power. And he is going to get that fairly soon. Nagrom is at the front, consistently doing his thing and trying to get some damage dropped on them. Obviously, they are also hoping for Malganir eventually to make a play now that he has the speed bubble of Zarya to help him out. But Cure comes in with a stun from the side, and that's a kill. Jean Lassalle is the first one to go down, followed by Kerrigan. So gems are being recovered. They're trying to go for them, and they're all so low. Malganir died for a good cause. He at least saved an ally, but he still died. 2 kills to 1. And still the exact same amount of gems for both of these players. So, yeah, not bad. We got 21 stacks now for Nagrom. And in the middle, they're trying for another kill on Ixia. Or actually, the first one. But they're trying to drop him. So far unsuccessful, but I guess eventually they're going to succeed. they should also be able to turn in some of their gems and cure the side laners that deliver gems are always amazing. That's always the dream. And then getting, of course, the 19 gems of Malthael removed, that is just a mad bonus. That is huge. Now they also kill Zarya. Yes, Gul'dan died, but this doesn't really matter. They took gems away from the red team and they were able to get kills in the process too. So that was awesome. Side laners are a little bit of a special case because they're normally trapped down at the bottom of the map. Every single player is able to get some gems for himself, but then normally they can't turn them in because everybody is watching and they know what's going on there. So if you are able to take the side laner down, that's always the dream because they are holding a lot of the early game gems. But as is, that's a step into the right direction for Cure and his team. We now have 24 stacks for the baseline of Khaldor. He's also on level 7, now hitting the chilling touch. And we get another fight and nearly another kill on Malfurion. He is getting out of this though. I'm not so sure about Q on the other hand. He doesn't have bunker yet. We don't have level 10 abilities, so he can't just simply bunker up or anything. But still able to walk away from this. And now the turn-in is going to happen. They got enough gems and they're getting dangerously close to completing this. Good job by the Swedes. 4 Swedes and an American, I guess. Interrupt attempt. Careful, Nagrom, you're a little bit far out, but nice. He's nearly done with his quest now. Got a couple of stacks there. Not even a problem for him. Now they're trying to turn it against the blue team once more. They're a bit behind the experience. If they're getting kills, that would be great. Can they get it? Quest completed. That's a lot of spell power. That is a lot of added damage that they are now looking at. So, yeah. This is getting better. Oh, yes, there it is. I was about to say, this is getting a bit better for Nagrom. Now he can really start to burst them, and that's the moment when he catches Gul'dan, and they're just destroying him. He got crushed. Absolutely crushed. So, yeah, job well done. And the question remains, what else are we gonna get from them now? What more can they do here? So, we are going to see them eventually turning in though, but with the gems lost, it should still be the blue team. They're getting another kill too. It should still be the blue team that really makes the play here. And they are still trying. Then again, at the same time, what we're getting next is a bit of a chase as they're going through the choke point here. I'm, on the other hand, still waiting for those web weavers, and I suppose that now we're going to get them. So yeah, it is web weaver time. Finally, Skog is able to deliver the last few. They have level 10, of course, as well. And we get Reign of RNG! Yes! Reign of Destruction! Alright, let's go. Let it rain, baby! Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yep, this is gonna be real fun. I love some of the RNG elements. I'm not saying it's better than going for Horrify, but it's always amusing when you see it, and if you can use it in a team fight, sometimes it just turns everything into a total death zone. So we'll see if this is going to work for them or not. But yeah, should be quite amusing. And then at the same time, there's still attacks happening as they're trying to go for the big team fight in the middle. Another big attack already ongoing, and well, there's the Reign of RNG already getting dropped on them. They're nearly able to take a target down, and the first one to fall as they finally succeed is Zarya. They're also bursting through the entire thing. Yeah, this is looking great for them. This is absolutely fantastic. Get some damage up at the top on another fort, take some of the heroes down. Currently, things are moving magnificently for the Swedish team. The first fort destroyed. Malganer's on the run. Might not even escape this. Yeah, he goes down. Gets killed, loses the gems. I was about to say they nearly lose the gems, but then Malta came in, tried to recover them. But you know what? He also gets murdered. So, unfortunately for the red team, not only did they lose multiple structures here, walls, the fort, but also heroes and gems in the process. They still have enough to go for a turn-in, but suffice it to say that things are not going all that well for them. So, yeah, job well done. And at the same time, Cure is working on siege giant camps. That's going to help them with the bot lane push if they want to execute it there. Yeah, and they're already pinging it. They're already saying like, boys, we got a chance. Let's go. We have a talent advantage too. Here's level 13. Chrysalis for Carrigan. The threat level from her is already fantastic. So we'll see how much work they can do with that. They can completely crush him. Or what's going on? But yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Lots of aggression right now. Obviously, there's still the Khaldor factor. Maybe at some point he can start to make a big play here. But as is, they still have to be a bit more cautious with him. Now, to be fair to Nagrom, he actually didn't die yet. He's at 21,000 damage, which is insanely close to Malthael. He hasn't fallen yet, not even once. So there's that. But we have to still figure out what he can do in the long run with Khaldor. If he's able to get those kills for them, get that control too, and maybe they can follow up with some damage from Zarya too, or Malthael with the last rites then. But the fight is again breaking out right over the turning point, and the red team hasn't had a single web beaver wave yet. They're trying again. Ult already out. Malganir gets stunned, bit low, but still able to escape out of the fight. We're having Virtual caught on the wrong side of the battle though for a moment, but thanks to the big shield from Zarya that came in just the right time, he's still able to get away. 1 level advantage for the blue team. Now we have level 13 for both. Spell barrier is in. Turn-ins are slowly happening, particularly for the blue team, by the way. So, so much for that. It's a triple. 3 heroes down, totally murdered. Really well done. I mean, that was glorious, and that's the Webweaver wave that they've been waiting for the entire time. So, yeah, at this point, they're just starting to move in. Khaldor, the root on the ground, all the CC, and then BAM! In your face! They're just getting popped, and that's the moment where the red team is finally gaining some momentum and also get some Webweavers for themselves. So, good stuff. Now the opportunity to push some of those forts, I suppose. Let's see what they actually can pull off down here in the middle and at the bottom of the map. Top lane Webweaver is very likely not going to accomplish too much considering how far out they are. I mean, they could still towards the back end of this, but the defense is going to focus here into the middle. That's the biggest threat for the time being. Not a lot that the red team is able to do here, as it seems. So, yeah. Bit unfortunate. They're not getting a whole lot out of this at all. Bottom bed Weaver has been defeated. One in the middle is already down. At the top, they still have a chance. There comes a light bomb. Diablo moving in. Also ult from Zarya. Still, Anduin saves the day. Dibbles out of the fight. They gotta retreat here, and Skog is extremely low. Has apparently also no cooldown ready on the fountain. But they still have to deal with the Webweaver. And Cure is starting to burn everything down up at the top. And, yep. Not going to destroy this fort either. Gonna get it low, but they're sieging up in the mid lane still, hoping that they can use Khaldor also in that position. Well, that chain is out, but Malganir gets caught quickly. They're still saving him, and Carrigan is the one in trouble, and she is actually dead. That non-stop siege that we're seeing from the French team is actually successful. They're getting a kill with Malthael. It's the first stack he has on last rights. They took down Carrigan, so all of a sudden, this continuous pressure play that they've been executing for a while now, first with the Webweavers, but then even without them, is just paying dividends. They're getting the fort in the middle, and they're now trying to steal away the opponent's camp too. Khaldor is at 44,000 damage. He's actually a bit ahead in damage compared to Gul'dan even. So Nagrom is doing extremely well and has not died yet. The big problem with Khaldor is always that he's insanely squishy. And if you have heroes that can get onto him quickly, Genji's obviously as usual a prime example for that, then it can be a problem. But they're doing such a stellar job to keep Khaldor alive that Nagrom is able to get massive amounts of damage out. That's not only true on hero damage, but also siege damage. And here comes the next Webweaver wave. So the Swedes definitely in a much more defensive position now. They have to somehow try and deal with all of that. Not going to be easy in the slightest. So, yeah, the big question is, how much damage can the red team now do? Because their first Webweaver wave was not all that successful. They took the fort out afterwards, but the Webweavers themselves only allowed them to take a better position towards it. They have the lead in experience on top of that now too. But in an ideal world, you want to go for a keep here. Blaze is defending the bottom fort, so he doesn't even want to give that up. He's just saying, we can still hold that. I can still get that done. But in the mid lane, that's where the next attack is now coming in. The fan club moving for the gate. Malthael up at the top. Zarya the entire time just going brrrr. Lots of damage for her too. But here's the reign of RNG. Burn it to the ground. Some men just want to see the world burn. Gul'dan is one of them. Get those fell flames ready. Good job by Cure at the bot lane. Well, actually, is that gonna... Okay, so the fort is still there. It's gonna get dropped eventually. But for now, there's no catapult pressure because he was able to keep it alive. Good for him. He's also the one trying to turn in now. Is able to pull it off. Blue team, Web Weavers are gonna send next. That this team fight will decide how successful they are. Kerrigan with Chrysalis, okay. Gia uses the bunker to jump back out here. The fight is not over though. Gia gets saved for a moment, and immediately there's Zarya with her ult. Nice combo attempt, but Kerrigan doesn't fully connect the stun. Malgaria threw Zarya in to try and give her a better position against them. But here comes another jet propulsion from Cure, and they even have Malgania down. Down to only a couple of HP. It's back to 50%. Here comes the barbecue. And Zarya gets burned. Burn, baby, burn. That is a great start for... Oh, that's the problem. Yeah, stun, 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 stun. Kel'Thuzad is gone. Reign of RNG. They're jumping straight into it. Last rites. And Skog is alive and everybody else is dead. What? Oh, the fort is gone. Only Malfurion survives. Bad news for the French team. This is going to hurt. This is absolutely going to hurt them. Yeah, you gotta Jean Lassalle that first. 12 kills to 8. They just crushed it. I also love how they just dropped the Reign of RNG on just everyone. They didn't even care that it was hitting their own team members. They were just like, yeah, screw it. Let's go. Let chaos reign. Keep destroyed. The one at the bot lane is gonna fall. Guys, I got news for you. Every single keep is gonna get murdered. The Fell Flame build that we have from Gul'dan is paying off for him. He has now deep impact as well, slowing the opponent even further. But that core is falling. It's falling quickly. Nobody's even trying to defend. They know that this is going to be impossible. They're just trying to get some kills. And this is a lead in this series for the Swedes. They take the victory on Tomb of Spider Queen. And why is the fan club picking this map? They're only losing here.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Infernal Shrines, map number 2. The fan club, as usual, loses on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I mean, at least in this tournament, they haven't won a single map on Tomb as that I can tell of. But obviously they feel fairly comfortable on the map. Has also to do with the fact that they're going up against a lot of very experienced teams here, and some of the games that they played, they honestly should have won. Anyways, situation as is, the Swedish team is in the lead and they're actually banning Probius again. They don't want to risk anything here. They're like, yeah, we don't care. They're totally comfortable going up against the fan club if they're playing a more standard comp. What they don't want is an X factor that they might not be able to properly deal with right now. So, yeah, that's basically what they're doing. But here we go. We have Hogger and Sylvanas as the bans, and with Probius banned out, this is going to be the final one in the first rotation. Maybe targeting the front line again. Malgania likes to play Nubarok. Take that out. Could be one of the plays. They don't want to deal with Mephisto. That's fair. Okay, so first pick for the red team. I mean, they need to come up with something. They're going up against the Swedes, and while at times it looked really good on Tomb of the Spider Queen, the fact remains that they're going up against a lot of very experienced players, now also enforced by Cure that is subbing in for Svamgrota today. So, yeah, first pick. Are they going to go for the tank again? They get something from Malgania. No, they get Lucio. Ixia gets Lucio. Lucio not banned for once, and Ixia locks it in. Ixia, again, is some of the plays that he makes on the support side are so absolutely insane, it's ridiculous. And I love that he also not always just goes for the standard supports that you see in every single game. Now, Lucio is obviously a bit of a different story because he gets banned out so much that we don't get to see him a whole lot. It's one of the differences also between the European and, let's say, the Asian meta that we see a lot because they just don't care about Lucio whatsoever. The last tournament that we casted over there, they just don't care. They don't ban Lucio, they don't pick him, they're just like, yeah, whatever. No clue. Over in Europe, very different. Lucio gets pretty much banned every single game, and if he doesn't get banned, there is a good chance that you're going to see him get picked. Jojo and Leoric, the choices for Infernal Shrines on the Swedish side. Good for them. Jojo with the AoE, same true for Leoric. Can easily go, of course, for one of the temples. Junkrat now to poke from a distance. We get Dehaka. Also great. Side lane control. Can go for the shrine on top of that, and now we're heading into the bans again, which means you can definitely target that front line now if you wanted to. So if they're a hero that they don't want to deal with, and yep, there it is, Inubarak. As already predicted a bit earlier, the ban came through eventually, just not in the 1-2 as I initially expected, but they banned him in the 3rd spot. And here it's Hanzo. Okay. Hanzo gets also the boot, and now we're still talking damage. Gia, we could get Maiev at some point from him again. Keep in mind that Kerrigan was already played, but he showed us multiple times that he can also pull that off with Maiev if they have the proper draft for it. Then you have Marke very likely again with support. He's been playing support for the team ever since they formed for the Banshee Cup. There's Tychus and leaving us with Gia as the final pick. And I suppose that theoretically we could also see at some point the Swedes play Medivh. Maybe even Svenskas is playing with them again, but now that I think about it, they have multiple players that have shown Medivh in the past. Marco being another one. But since he is currently kind of stuck in the support role, maybe a bit less likely. Unless they're playing with a different sub at some point. Malgania with Varian, and we get Sergeant Hammer. So essentially they're going for a hammer composition and are going to try to position her properly around the shrines to just control that space fully. Have Lucio just boop the target away. Junkrat also with some displacement that he can use in these situations. And our final pick for Infernal Shrines comes on the side of the Swedish team. And it is Genji. Genji Tychus for damage. Infernal Shrines, match point number 1 for the old farts, for the retirees here. The Swedes in the lead as we are heading into the second game of the best of 3 series in the losers bracket. Prepare yourselves for battle. Alright, battle it is. Let's go, boys and girls. Let's see what we can get in the second game of the series. If the Swedes are able to win it with a 2-0 and send the Frenchies packing, or if the French team is now turning things around, forcing the third map. On the left in blue, Gia with Genji, Cure on Leoric, we have Mako on Rhaegar, Skok on Janna, and Max Passion on Tychus. Towards the right side of the map, the opponents, the fan club with Malgania on Varian, we got Jean Lassalle on Sergeant Hammer, Ixia on Lulcio, and Nagrom on Junkrat with Virtual. Coming in, last but not least, on Dehaka. Level 1, the Advanced Artillery is in the house. We're also getting Ossen's Renewal for Leoric. And it is the Janitor. Always nice to get the Janitor in here so you can take out the trash. And Genji, I am surprised at the lack of Genji that we're getting lately. Hanzo is as usual being played in every series, and hui, what was that? Holy freeze, ladies and gentlemen. The Heroes of the Storm server with another hiccup. I swear to God, at some point they're gonna turn those things off. Every single time we get a lag, I'm just like, am I now getting just like a note, server could not be reached, it seems to be offline? I would absolutely believe that Blizzard just does that without even informing the community. But yeah, anyways. So, Sergeant Hammer at the beginning of the game, still in that awkward position where she can't really move. Level 7 is gonna change that. There's a couple of talents that should essentially be baseline, and I think level 7 is one of them. Have you ever seen a player that is worth his salt take anything else but Hammer Siege mode on level 7 for Sergeant Hammer? I mean, outside of your Bronzy, Wood League, Quick Match, Storm League, whatever, have you ever seen any other talent on that hero? I don't think so. So yeah, that's definitely something that they could have changed, or should have changed eventually. Big fight also over the camp at the bottom of the map, but with Sergeant Hammer just shelling away time and time again, there's just nothing that they can do, and they have to give up the position, have to give up the camp, and it is claimed by the blue team. So, good for them. But okay, as all of this starts to slowly play out, we're still waiting for the first objective to be announced. It's going to be the case in another 30 seconds, and then we'll see who is walking away with the first Punisher. Taunt is now in. We also get Siege Tactics, bit of an additional slow from Leoric, or sorry, he actually goes for Neil Peasants. One of my favorite talents, honestly. The naming alone on some of these is just awesome. And Leo, yeah, Leo is awesome as well. So, while we are fanboying on Leo a little bit, we still have to also talk about Sergeant Hammer here. So there's a blind of Jojo they can use. I mean, obviously, blinds in this game are not really hard counters, but it really helps you if you're trying to get a position onto Sergeant Hammer to get some of those auto attacks at least negated. But without the movement, it's still a bit of a question mark how much they can do in their attempt to go for Punisher #1. You even oftentimes see Tiger's teams to not go too hard for the first objective, because they're simply saying, well, if we're waiting until level 10, then we have a much better chance with Odin. Nice approach here on Malganir, and that drops Marker fairly low, so now he has to be super careful how he positions himself there, but he's also losing hit points himself, and that gets exploited by Genji, who gets the kill. Even a second kill was in the cards here as they went for Sergeant Hammer. Nagrom, grenade to the face, and yeah, that was a bit unlucky. I think he thought that he could jump all the way back out, but Tigers had his number, and now with all those kills and level 7, obviously, we're gonna have the Punisher go over to the blue team. Nagrom trying to bounce back, and then BAM! Playing Bruno Mars, catching the grenade. And it is bye-bye. So, as they get the Mortar Punisher, now's the move down at the bottom of the map to try and break down the gate and try and destroy the fort, or at least lower the hit points a bit. Jump is already there, procced, and hits 3 heroes, but they are burning the Punisher hit points down extremely quickly. Sergeant Hammer, of course, now with Hover Siege mode, so this is really the moment where they have a much better time just defending with Hammer. It's always annoying pushing into Sergeant Hammer, obviously. So, yeah. Up to the top, Dehaka still trying to catch up in experience for the team. They're nearly a level behind here. This early in the game, that's a problem. It's annoying because not only was it a thing when we headed into the first objective, as they lost the level 7 advantage to the blue team, but in addition to that, if they're now losing more heroes, and yes, Malganir died again, then what this essentially is going to result in is an early level 10, and it could very well be level 10 when the objective is up. And of course, if that's the case, you can pretty much kiss that second Punisher goodbye too and have to just abandon it. Can't fight for it. That is the problem now. One of the reasons why Dehaka is just really staying on the side lane, very diligently trying to make sure that he catches all of that minion experience that they can possibly get, because that's exactly what they need here. Level 10 is ready. 1 level advantage still. If they can catch somebody with a good entomb, that would be amazing. But now they're just dropping Odin. You see that very often with Tigers. If they are in a lead, you just drop Odin right there. You do as much damage as you can. If it's perfect, you can take down the fort, and then Odin will be back for the shrine fight once more. So that's essentially what it comes down to. And they could very well take this one out. They're already trying, dropping it super low here, and the fort might fall. And even if it doesn't, it's super low. And now that level 10 is coming into play for the French team, the Swedes are falling back a little bit and are slightly more cautious around it. At least for the fan club, it's a bit of a relief that they don't have to battle around an objective with an opponent that has such a big talent advantage over them. So yeah, good for them. Hasn't even been announced yet. And we get the bubble. Sound Barrier. Okay, Lucio with Sound Barrier in game number 2 of this series. The red team has not gotten a kill, by the way. Yeah, they go for Malganir again, as it seems. Trying for a bit of a slow, but did not go all out. They didn't really commit to this. You could tell Jojo had the chance to throw the Blessed Shield out, didn't, just stayed away from that. And once again, the bot lane gets pressured more. I mean, essentially, everybody is just trying to get a few more kills, particularly when you're Malgani. You want to get that one taunt unleashed that is going to help your team to lock the first kill in and also get some experience, but it's just not working. The Shrine is now getting announced, and the blue team, the Swedish team, they are closing in slowly, steadily onto level 12, which will put them into range, essentially, of the level 13 talent. So yeah, this didn't quite work out. Gia is still coming in at the side for some extra damage. BFG is already getting used against Jojo, did some damage. They're just attempting to siege up here. But with Genji just coming in, poking, and then jumping back out, they're nibbling on the edges as camp after camp gets taken by the Swedish team. And they're jumping onto Junkrat, trying to get a kill quickly against Nagrom. Not successful, but it also forces them back. And oh, maybe now a problem for Johanna. Nearly. She still had the Iron Skin up, but there's a camp at the top lane that has to be dealt with, as it's already doing structural damage at the front wall. And on top of that, we have Cure doing work on the Shrine itself. So even with Junkrat and Dehaka now moving in topside, bit of an issue. Malganir zips in, gets baited by Gia as he swift strikes away. Here comes the ult from Lucio as he recognizes that there might be a problem on the horizon. Good Ancestral too. And they want the hammer, and they get her. Sergeant Hammer is gone. Malganir taps the fountain. He still dies. 5 kills to 0. And this bottom fort is gonna get destroyed. Okay, bottom fort down. At the top, they've given up control to Junkrat and Dehaka. But they're gonna get... Oh my god, they're gonna get Lucio now as well. Are they though? Oh, the grenade straight to the face. He's going to be forced to Hearthback. They have no interest at fighting for the Punisher, as you can see. They're realizing that the red team is going to take this eventually. What they want to do instead is just get more and more damage onto all of those structures. The fort has already been destroyed. Now Lucio dies at the bottom of the map to Johanna. And all that the blue team now has to do is defend properly against the Punisher. Yeah, Cure baits it over. Was trying to use it on the Ghost, at least initially, but that didn't quite work, so the swing it is. And while this is playing out, Sergeant Hammer dies again. Dehaka is coming in, trying to help them with a counter kill. It would be the first one. They still haven't gotten a single kill, but they are still fighting this out. That, on the other hand, is unlucky for Make, and likely the end. Huh? Well, the doggy? Yeah, there's the taunt. Comes in, and the Entomb misses. Okay. 2 level advantage. Okay, let's not lie here. 1.5 level advantage. 1.5 level lead. 1 fort destroyed, 1 insanely low. Only a bit of damage taken up at the top. The defense here from Leorik was more than enough. Was only 1 hero pushing with it, and the Punisher could still easily be taken out, which is what they did here. So suffice it to say, it is the Swedes that are currently making all the good moves. Yeah, they're looking great on this. They're doing exceptionally well. And they are, of course, now trying to get level 16 for the next objective, run their talent advantage, just snowball that game and just turn the entire thing into an all-out avalanche. Genji has to rush away here. Varian, like, taunting Genji is one of the easier ones. Varian just has to whisper sweetly in his ear, your brother is much cooler than you. And that makes Genji massively mad, because these days, he's also right. I mean, Hanzo is getting picked way more than Genji. It's just the truth of the matter. They go for Cure. Leo, Riptide to the face, I guess. They still are able to save him, and he just barely misses out on catching Lucio. That would have been fantastic. Catching Lucio there, that's a dead support. But they survive. 16 again is in the house. That talent lead is something that the Swedish team is not passing up on. They are pushing, they're sieging up, starting to get a bit closer to the fort in the middle. I don't think that they're going to sacrifice Odin here necessarily in that situation, but they are obviously highly interested in pinning down the red team. Maybe even make the rotation against the Dehaka work at the top, and they're absolutely cutting Virtual's path of retreat off and get the kill. Even with Lucio coming in with an ult a moment too late, didn't get a shield there either. So that's a dead side laner, and they're losing more, aren't they? Malganir, yep, he dies, he's gone. 4th time that he got destroyed. And the Blessed Hammer nearly taking out Jean Lassalle. But this time, he doesn't miss. Leo is able to get the kill. Misses the swing, but still gets the kill. And that's all that matters here. So, we got 10 kills to 1. 3 heroes are dead. They try and make it 4 as they go for X here. And Lucio is low. Still trying to get away from this. It's Overwatch against Overwatch. And apparently Genji is just a bit stronger. That fort is gone. And with now a Punisher being available shortly in the middle of the map, they have a chance to take out the last remaining fort here before that battle even starts. Before it even begins. Maybe move for... Okay. Oh, Genji! Blessed Shield is also available. And he gets away. Even Rip tires it up, but it's not going to do anything. He realized it too and just moved back. But that was a pretty cool escape from Nagrom. That looked multiple times like he would also die. It's 11 kills to 1. Yeah, and QA is now together with Marke and with Max Passion going for the Punisher. Then again, Johanna dying, so finally a little bit of a success for the fan club. Don't think it's going to be enough to turn the tide just yet, but they got level 16. That helped them to facilitate that kill at the end of the day. And yeah, on top of that, Giant Killer is now ready, and that's of course huge. 34 to 9. Still doable if they have full control here. Swedish team might give that up. Probably not. They still have the ult on Tigers, so as long as they don't lose anyone here, they're going to be fine. Taunt is out. Gia is also out and does not need the Ancestral. Yeah, Rega was holding that back. Might have to use it on Cure though if he wants to keep him alive. And since Leo is going to respawn quickly, they're just saying like, yeah, whatever. It's probably better to just like wait that out. Punisher is still bouncing around. The middle fort still standing, but that's going to get destroyed 100%. But yeah, they are just all over the place now. The red team is trying to defend this. They also have to defend the top lane. They're still 1.5 levels behind. Bad news when your opponent is level 19. And yep, there's a play for not only Varian, but obviously they want to get some structural damage in and take that wall down. Good Ancestral from Rhaegar himself. That was well timed. But that fight is still ongoing and the Punisher is helping. The Punisher is absolutely murdering Sergeant Hammer. Just crushing her there for a second. And they take Varian down, so Malganir is dead once again. Nagrom moving out, but down to the bottom. Jean Lassalle is now trying to escape, and that wall is falling. The entire front wall is gone, gate destroyed, tower's gone, level 20 is ready, living weapon in play. Blessed Shield gets upgraded. We got the big red button and also the Farseer's Blessing. Things are looking very good for the Swedes. Now keep in mind, they have a lead in this best of 3 series already, and we are in the losers bracket of Banshee Cup qualifier number 2. So if the fan club loses, they are out of this qualifier. They will have to try again next week to get themselves a few more points. But it is fairly impressive for the Swedish team. Keep in mind, this is the first time that they're actually participating in the qualifiers. They were signed up for qualifier number 1, but realized that multiple of their players couldn't make the date, so they retreated from it. And now they are just going all out there. They struggled a bit in the initial games that they played, but currently you can really see the experience on these players. Coming in, taking down Lucio. The keep down here has already been destroyed. And, well, they lose Rhaegar. They kill at least Varian, but with Rhaegar gone, I think it's a bit questionable. Well, I was about to say it's questionable that they go for core. The problem is always if you don't have a support, you don't have sustain. So it's really difficult to core against an opponent with low death timers. And that's 30 seconds we're talking about here. Since they're already low in HP, yeah, they gotta fall back. But at least at the start, they were willing to commit some resources to it. I like that they are falling back though. This is one of the problems that we had to deal with now in multiple games, is that some players were just making too many aggressive moves and then it backfired heavily. But if you're this far ahead, you can play it a bit safer. Now, the good news obviously is that they haven't lost a single fort, like not one. All the structures are still standing, as you can see clearly on the minimap. With all the camps being up, they can just move in and now get themselves one camp after another. Paint the map blue. Only thing that they got to do. Rhaegar dying twice in this game. Leo once. Johanna. 6 deaths on Malganir. Yeah, he's having a tough time. He's going up against Tigers that just melts him away. I've had this in some of the other games too, so yeah, of course, level 20 is now going to be ready for the Bobby Kotick fan club. And that's the good news. I mean, now it's 20 versus 20, so now you have a chance to fight an eye level for that shrine. You have lost one keep, which is definitely annoying. It's going to become a problem, but it's also not the end. Yeah, well, okay, scratch what I just said. That's bad news. Then again, Lucio with a very nice save gets his barrier out and saves the Haka. So even though the trap was sprung and Leo hit the Entomb, they were not able to get a kill. There's camps on every single lane on the other hand. So yeah, every lane is in trouble, at least to an extent. And now it's a question of who wins the Punisher. This is more or less the last stand of the fan club. This is their Alamo right there. They're coming in and they're taking that hill, and this is going to be the hill where they're going to succeed or die on. We'll see. They are trying. Gia is already jumping in, out, gets maybe taunted there for just a second. Let's wait that out. Slow on Varian, Malganir. And the big red button got used. Max Passion is just getting the damage numbers connected. They go for Sergeant Hammer, and that's a kill. Sergeant Hammer is down, so is the Haka.
And we say bye-bye!
Both of them are gone, and Malganir, he might be next. They're trying to go for Odin, but he just lines them up and takes them down. Junkrat destroyed, Varian gets murdered, and this is going to be a 5-man team wipe as the entire team gets crushed. The Mortar Punisher is already taken. Obviously, the middle of the map and also the bottom is now wide open. They're going for the keep, they're going for the core, and this is going to be the end of the losers bracket run of the Bobby Kotick fan club. They are dropping out of the tournament, defeated by the Swedes. The Swedish team moving on now to the next round of the losers bracket, to the losers bracket final. Nicely done, well played, and GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.